Alright, this is going to be part 2 video of like ranked meta builds and what people are using for the most part. Khan is an off tank, so you're not going to be standing on point with Khan. But for the most part, you're just going to be getting Cauterized 3. You can get walk speed since Khan is kind of slow, and like Haven and other stuff like that. If you're getting stunned too much, you want to get Resilience. But all the Khan builds right now are using Storm of Bullets. It just shoots a lot faster, and you're not going to miss with Storm of Bullets. You're going to be constantly hitting targets. This is like a basic build for Khan. Hope Guard is what they're using right now, but you can switch it around to his other card that regenerates his shield faster by 2 or 3. Plate Mail, if like you're a newer player of Khan, you can go with 4. But you want to have like more ammo since you're going to be shooting a lot faster. So for the most part, you want to focus on plate mail and having more ammo. The other cards too help, like Into the Breach, help you give movement speed so you can get away a little bit faster. Up next I have Kinessa. She's damage champion sniper, so of course you want to go with Cauterized 3, and you can get reload also. Cauterize and reload. For the most part, reposition is used the most because you have an instant teleport. And this is a basic Kinessa build. Like I said, this is just to give you an idea how Kinessa plays, but you're always going to have Power Supply and Prodigy and True Grit. This is going to be for Koga. Adrenaline Junkie, for the most part I've seen on Kogas, are used all the time. As Koga, you're a flank, so you want to have Cauterize, and then Reload, Haven, and stuff like that. Resilience is if you're getting stunned all the time. But this is basically a basic Koga build. You want to give yourself more health, and you want to reduce energy, and you want to have lifesteal. Now on Lex, there's 2 different builds. There's Death Hastens and there's Discovery for the most part. But Discovery is a lot easier to use because Death Hastens, you have to have good aim to use that build. So Discovery is a lot easier to use for newer Lex players. But Grandmasters and Masters Lex players, they'll use the Death Hastens build, but you have to have good aim. This is a basic Discovery build, and of course Lex, you want to get Cauterized 3, Haven, or Resilience to reduce damage and not get stunned all the time. But Cauterized, so they don't keep full healing when you're shooting them. You're going to be having lifesteal, and you're going to be constantly sliding around and getting movement speed off your slides, and you're going to have a little bit extra HP. Now as for Lian, I don't know how to pronounce this word because nobody uses it anymore. Alacrity or whatever it's called. It reduces your cooldown of Grace, which is the most used build right now in ranked, because you can just slide and hit everyone. When you're using this build, you always want to have 4 or 5 to Swift Jade, because you're going to slide, use Valor, then slide again. So that's pretty much the combo, and you're going to be shooting everyone 3 times in a row, and you don't have to aim. So you're going to slide, use Valor, then slide again, because you're going to have instant cooldown on your slide when you use Valor. You're also going to be getting your ammo back, and you're going to get more more distance on your slide with Manifest Destiny, and you're going to have a couple more ammo. And when you kill someone, Inheritance is going to lower your cooldown, so you can go slide, shoot, slide again, and just keep doing it over and over again. As for Maeve, Street Justice is used pretty much all the time because you can get instant kills. And this is a basic build with Maeve. You're going to be taking less damage, you're going to be getting a little bit more healing when Prowl. You can give yourself more HP with Street Cred. Chase and Scamper, you can kind of change around if you want. But Sixth Sense and Street Cred are pretty much always used. As for Makoa, right now he's an off tank. Same with I was gonna say with Maeve also. You want to get cauterized on all these champions unless you're playing a healer, a damage healer. Makoa, you also get cauterized, and Maeve, you get cauterized. That's the first things you want to focus on. You get pluck, because Makoa right now is an off tank. He doesn't stand on point. He kind of plays like the other off tanks as a damage champion. This is a basic Makoa build. You want to have the cooldown on your anchor all the time. So you want to keep hitting people with your anchor, because with Harden you're going to be taking less damage. Termination is used so you can get more healing, you can stay alive more. Ebb and Flow is always used because you can reduce the cooldown of your spin, which is important because you want to shoot, grab with the hook, and then spin into them, because your spin does damage, believe it or not, to champions. So that's pretty much a combo you want to do, is shoot, hook, spin, and then shoot again. And then when you get like lower HP, you can spin again, and you want to keep doing that combo. You want to keep doing the shoot, hook, spin combo. Dumba, Spirit's Chosen is always used because you're going to be out healing all the other healers in the game. Now with Dumba, newer Dumba players get reload speed because they're like stunning people. But since you're a main healer, you want to get Chronos 3 before the other abilities. After you get Chronos, you want to get reload speed, then Haven, so you can stay alive longer. Of course, resilience if you keep getting stunned, and of course, if they have Skye or Shaolin, you can get like Illuminate 2 or 3 so you can see invisible champions. But for the most part, Dumba players always use Possession, and they always use Eerie Presence, because you're going to be taking less damage, and if you miss on your heal, you want to make sure you keep on healing. That's why Eerie Presence is always used. In high rank, Swift Spirits is always used because you're going to be giving your teammates more movement speed so they can get in and out of situations a lot faster. Snake Pit and Illuminal Passage you can change if you want. Moji is a flanker for the most part. I like using Toot because it combos with Toot. You can use your dash and then throw your shield up, and you'll full heal yourself, and there's nothing they can do about it because your barrier or your shield makes you immune to everything. So when you Toot and use barrier, you can full heal yourself, and there's nothing they can do about it. This is a basic Moji build. Symbiotic has been getting used all the time, because when you're on a low HP and someone heals you, you're gonna see the health increase. You're gonna get healed super fast. And Cozy, you're gonna keep healing yourself. And with Toot also, you can just keep full healing yourself and have your barrier up, and there's nothing they can do about it. Fluffy you can put to 2 or 3 if you want, so you can give yourself more peppy. Like when you kill someone, you can reduce your cooldown so you can dash and have more cooldown on your shield. For Octavia, now I don't play Octavia, but I've been watching Masters and Grandmasters players play Octavia. Well, I'm using Commander's Credit, and my only guess is because you want your team to get more cauterized and more items faster. Display of Force, I've noticed, is being used all the time on Octavia. And this is a basic Octavia build. Determined Defense you can change to 2 or 1. It really depends on you. But I've seen a lot of Octavia players always use giving themselves more ammo, and always using new boots and snap to it. Also getting jumpy. This is a damage pit build. There is a healing pit build, but for right now pip is not being used a lot, so you can use damage pip with Dumba, Seris, or Corvus, or Grover. So whenever those healers are being picked, then you can pick damage Pip, and you're going to pick Catalyst because they're going to be taking more damage. As for Pip, like other damage and flankers, you want to get Cauterize. Pip also, you want to get reload speed, so you can get Cauterize and reload speed, and get Haven so you can take less damage. If you're getting stunned too much, you get Resilience, and of course if they have invisible champions like Skye, Shaolin, you can get Illuminate. This is basically a damage Pip build. You're going to always have cooldown on your flask, so you can keep slowing people and doing more damage to them. The thing with Pip is you want to work on your aim, because with Escape Artist you're going to be jumping around constantly. So you want to jump around constantly and shoot, just so it's harder for them to hit you. Unless they have Lian, she has auto aim, so it doesn't matter. You have to be careful using Pip, because the only way you can reduce your damage is by getting Haven. So you just have to be careful. And this is going to be Raum's build. From what I've noticed, Enforcer is being used pretty much all the time on Raum. This is a basic Raum build. Raum doesn't stand on the point, he's an off tank. He runs around and causes chaos. You want to get Cauterize and maybe Haven to reduce some of your damage. He's kind of slow, so you can get walk speed. Most Raum players are always going to get Resilience because you have no shield at all. So you probably just want to get Cauterize 3 and Resilience 3 so you don't get stunned all the time. But I don't play Raum a lot, but this is the build I've been watching Grandmaster Raum players use and like Masters Raum players use. For Ray, I have been messing around with Ray, but for the most part, Restraint is used the most out of all her abilities. Because you can prevent people from healing and just kill them. And this is a basic Ray build. She has low ammo, so you can give her more ammo. Midnight Stroll, you can reduce your damage. Mystic Mastery, you can put down to 3 or 2 once you get to like Masters and Grandmasters. But you're always going to have Enveloping Magic and Midnight Stroll. And give yourself a little bit more ammo. Rukus is an off tank. He doesn't stand on point. He mostly plays like the other off tanks as a damage champion, so you're going to be using Aerial Assault. You can use Rukus on maps that have high ground, so you can leap to the high ground whenever you want. With Aerial Assault, you're going to having proximity, and what this does is always gives you 12% reduced damage, because you're constantly going to be dashing around, and when you are, you're gonna have damage reduction of 12% all the time. Fuel Reserves is also used all the time to give you more distance, and you can get to the higher ground. Damper you can put to 2 once you're like Masters, Grandmasters. You don't really need it. Emitter cooldown is pretty much used on 1. And then you can always going to have a cooldown on your rocket launchers, because your rocket launchers, or missile launchers, they for the most part give you the most damage, and so you want to have more cooldown on your missiles. Seris is a main healer, so you're going to be using Mortal Reach. It just gives more healing, and you have more range. As for Seris, she doesn't really need Chronos as much because she has Fade to Black. You're going to be getting Walk Speed 2 or 3, and then you're going to be going for Chronos and Haven, so you take less damage, or Resilience, so you don't get stunned all the time. But Resilience is hardly ever used on Seris because of Fade to Black, and when she turns invisible, she's immune to everything. So you can just get Cauterize, Walk Speed, and Chronos. And this is a basic Seris build. Once you get really good with Seris, you can put Fade to Black to 5. Blood Pact is pretty much always used on 2. Soul Forge and Veil. On Grandmasters, Seris players, they'll put Fade to Black and Veil to 5. From what I've seen, for the most part, the new Shaolin build is Recurve. You just get faster shots. I've seen people use Sand Trap, so we're just going to go with the recurve build because it's just going to give you faster shots with your bow and arrow. And this is the build I've been watching people use right now. There's Swagger on Wanderlust. You give yourself more HP and you're going to always have 12% more walk speed. And when you get to low HP, you can turn invisible again. You can turn invisible, shoot someone, get to low HP, turn invisible again. Poise gives you a little bit more movement speed also. But when you... Shaolin's cooldowns are kind of crap, so you're just going to use bullseye. So when you kill people, you can keep lowering your cooldowns. Preparation I've seen being used more and more of Skye because resets your cooldowns and you get heal for 500. Since Skye, I was going to mention too of Shaolin, you're going to be getting Shaolin and Skye cauterize 3, then other abilities like Resilience, Haven. Decrepify is used a lot because you don't take any ammo at all when you're shooting someone with poison, and you're going to have a cooldown on your poison arrows also. So you're going to keep hitting with people poison and you're going to be consuming no ammo. Dissipate, you're going to be using just to give you more movement speed. Confound you can probably change if you want. And that's it for part 2.